Hi there, this is Greg English. I'm the developer of Scantheus, and this is one of several videos having to do with sections in the Admin Expander, and these are options that change the interface, customize certain features. Today, we're going to deal with the output options. Oh, the Admin Expander is over here along the right side. Just open it up with a click on that little arrow, and we're going to deal with output options, and you see in the tooltip, options affecting image output. Imagine that. But some of these will add features into this control panel window, the output section of it. Some of them are a little bit more obscure. So let's open it up and dive in. So the first four here that have to do with show different options, show by tonal, deskew, rotate, post, scan, start page number. The reason they're options that you can turn off and on are they are not used very often. But once you turn them on, you can leave them on, make them part of your default config, and they'll be on all the time. First off, this show by tonal option has to do with what time of output. Typically you have color and grayscale. These two buttons control that. Let's turn on live view so you can see that different toggle there. If you turn show by tonal option on, it adds a third option, which is bitonal, not an image type that is used much. It's like from the old fax days. If I click on it, you see what it does is it thresholds the image into just black or white pixels. There are two ways of doing it. You have an auto threshold. This is not a very good image for showing you. Typically, if you have an image with some text, you can see more about what makes the text lighter or bolder. This is just going to toggle out different colors. You have an auto threshold and you have a user threshold where you can control the what will turn into black and what will turn into white pixels. I'm adjusting the value here. You see as I go adjust the threshold down, it goes from 1 to 255, and the lower the number, the lighter the colors will become white, and if I go up, it tends towards black at default. Halfway, 128, give you that with this color image. So that's bitonal threshold. The nice thing about bitonal images, they're very, very small. The bad thing about them is if you have some faint text or something on there, you're not going to be able to read it, or you're going to have to be messing around with the threshold to get it so the text is readable. So that's bitonal option. Next is a deskew option, which adds this field here, which allows you to turn off and on deskew while you're scanning. The minimum angle means that after it scans and it detects the angle of the document, this is the angle that it will do a deskew, starting at 2 degrees. If it's less than 2 degrees, which is a very tiny, maybe even not even noticeable deskew of the image, it won't attempt a deskew. But you can set this all the way down to 0. Your scans will take a little longer whenever it engages the deskew. Next is the rotate post scan option. Now, this is a situation where you may have a book that you have to lay it down. It's so tall as opposed to wide that you have to lay it down and scan it sideways. Well, what this will do will scan it, and then after the scan is taken, it will rotate it to a particular direction. Show start page number option. So this is really helpful for if you have want to scan like a color chart as a page 0. You can do that instead of the standard page 1. Now you must set this up before you start scanning the book, because as I've said in another video, Scantheus enforces sequential numbering. So right now I have I start with page number 1, but if I change it to page 0 and I try to go into this book again, it won't give me an error complaining that there's no page 0. Say there's no pages, there's a bunch of unexpected pages in there. So be sure to set that up. Think about how you're going to do your scanning, and if you want a page 0, use that. Right to left scanning is if you want your pages to be written out from right to left instead of left to right. So I'm going to make these 2 pages a little different here. I can grab the edge. There we go. Kind of a Mutt and Jeff pages there. So by default, no, I don't want to calibrate at the moment. By default, left to right, I turn this on when I do a scan right to left. Right TIFFs as single strip. So the TIFF spec by default breaks up inside the file itself. It breaks up the image into blocks. And that is from the days, the old fax days, where it could only send a small packet as it's sending the image. Well, I have Scantheus by default write the TIFF out as a single strip. That should work fine in all cases, but if you have a situation where a viewer or something requires multiple strips, or there's some kind of limitation, you can turn it on and it'll automatically default to 1 megabyte strips. ICC profiling enables a whole ICC profiling subsystem. That'll be covered in another video, as will cached scanning. Renumber left to right is when you use the book cradle, and the 100-degree book cradle, and that's a cradle that kind of hangs off the side, and you scan the left pages, and then you scan the right pages, and this will put them all in the correct order. It's just the way the book, you put the book on there, and you only scanned one side of the book all the way through, and then you adjust and turn the book around and scan the other page, and then this will let it, you end up having a book that the first, if you have a 20-page book, the first 10 pages will be the right pages, and the next 10 pages will be the left pages. This will put them all, alternate them so that they're left, right in the right order. This base cache folder is related to cache scanning, which I'll cover in another video. So there you are. That's the output options. I know some of them will, I've kicked the can down the road to cover in another video, but they're pretty extensive, so it's not in the scope of this video. That's output options.